plenty of other big-name guys low-key found even greater success after hanging up the cleats.
I'm going to introduce the 21st football coach at Bowling Green State University, Eddie George.
So today, we present to you 10 former NFL running backs who flourished even more in their post-playing days. Ricky Williams. Williams was the central figure in one of the worst trades in NFL history. Let us take you back to 1999 when the first season of The Sopranos aired, and nobody really knew how big a boom it would be. Then New Orleans Saints head coach Mike Ditka traded every pick that he had in the 1999 draft, plus 2000 first and third round picks, to Washington so he could move up and take Williams 5th overall. Most people regard Williams as a bit of a bust, which is kinda strange considering that he won the rushing title in 2002 and finished with 10,009 career rushing yards. Unfortunately, much of Williams' prime was swallowed up by suspensions for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. He retired after playing second fiddle to Ray Rice, putting an end to one of the more bizarre careers in NFL history. Williams has enjoyed several successful career paths in his post-football days. He's a certified yoga instructor, appeared on Celebrity Big Brother and Celebrity Apprentice, and recently launched his own cannabis brand called Heisman. In 2024, Williams' company merged with Frozen Fields, a hemp company based in North Carolina, to form Top Seed Inc. So yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. Roger Craig. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Ronnie Lott got most of the love during the 49ers' dynastic run in the 80s and early 90s, but Craig was no slouch himself. The four-time Pro Bowl running back was an instrumental part of the 49ers' Super Bowl championship winning teams in 1984, 1988, and 1989. During the 1985 season, Craig became the first player to hit 1,000 rushing and receiving yards in a single season, a feat that has since been only matched by Marshall Faulk and Christian McCaffrey. That year, Craig led the NFL in receptions as a running back, no less. The 1988 Offensive Player of the Year had short stints with the Los Angeles Raiders and Minnesota Vikings before retiring in 1994. Over 3 decades later, and he curiously remains out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Since 1999, Craig has served as the VP Director of Business Development of Tibco Software Inc. in Palo Alto, California. He's also authored 3 books and provides motivational speaking services. Now, if his post-playing career success could just be capped off by a call to the hall. Hershel Walker. Like Ricky Williams, Walker was on the wrong side of one of the most lopsided trades in the history of North American professional sports. To be more specific, the Walker trade is far and away the worst in NFL history. Then again, it's not Walker's fault that the Minnesota Vikings overvalued him when they completed the 1989 midseason blockbuster with the Dallas Cowboys. While Walker flopped in Minnesota, the Cowboys used the bundle of picks from the Vikings to build a dynasty that would win 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. So Walker's career went downhill after he was traded to Minnesota. But hey, credit to the man for not letting the disappointing end to his once flourishing career define the rest of his life. Walker founded the Renaissance Man Food Services food distributor company in 2002. Additionally, Walker served as the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition under President Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Later that year, Walker ran for the U.S. Senate in Georgia as the Republican nominee, losing to Democrat Raphael Warnock. Barry Foster. Ask longtime Pittsburgh Steelers fans to name a one-hit wonder, and they'll instantly mention Barry Foster. The Steelers drafted him in round 5 and number 128 overall in 1990. That year, the Steelers also made the grave mistake of trading the number 17 pick to the Dallas Cowboys to move down in the draft. With that pick, the Cowboys drafted future career rushing leader Emmitt Smith, who led America's team to 3 Super Bowl championships in the 90s. After 2 lackluster seasons to begin his career, Foster went off in 1992 with 1,690 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. Foster finished with 2,034 yards of offense, earning first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl nods. Unfortunately, that was peak Barry Foster in the NFL. Injuries limited him to 20 games over the 1993 and 1994 seasons, and the Steelers traded him to the Carolina Panthers in 1995. Foster briefly retired before attempting a comeback that same year with the Cincinnati Bengals, but he retired for good at the age of 26, having suffered too many injuries that limited his abilities on the field. But Foster, or shall we say Mr. Foster, has done just fine for himself in his post-playing endeavors. In 2013, it was reported that he was working as a coach and gym teacher at DeLay Middle School in Louisville, Texas. Foster has since moved up the schooling ranks, as he's now the assistant principal of Crosswinds Accelerated High School in Grand Prairie, Texas. Aman Green. The Nebraska product was a third-round pick of the Seattle Seahawks in 1998, but was unable to win the RB1 duties from superstar Ricky Watters. Green got his big break when the Seahawks traded him to the Green Bay Packers in the 2000 offseason, joining a a prolific offense led by three-time MVP quarterback Brett Favre. And just like that, everything changed for Green. Green posted 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons to begin his tenure in Green Bay. He helped them to 4 playoff appearances, going as far as the divisional round in 2001 and 2003. Green would leave the Packers in 2007 to spend 2 years with the Houston Texans before returning to Titletown for his final NFL season in 2009. Green has since mostly kept a low profile in his post-football endeavors. However, Green was the head coach of esports at Lakeland University. In 2023, Green returned to his alma mater to become a lecturer and esports coach at Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications. Kijana Carter. Carter was a can't-miss talent coming out of Penn State, earning first-team All-Big Ten and unanimous All-American honors in 1994. Carter led the Nittany Lions to a blowout win over Oregon in the 1995 Rose Bowl, earning big game MVP honors. Viewing Carter as a potential franchise-changing cornerstone, the Cincinnati Bengals traded up via the Carolina Panthers to take him first overall in 1995. Sadly, however, injuries almost immediately destroyed Carter's career. Carter suffered a torn ACL in his first preseason game and missed the entire 1995 season. Though he stayed healthy the next 2 seasons, Carter compiled only 728 rushing yards over that period. Carter was then limited to 4 total games over the next 2 years after suffering season-ending injuries. Career revival attempts with Washington and later New Orleans went absolutely nowhere. Shed no tears for Carter, though. He later founded BioGlobe, a company based in Florida that offers advertising, marketing, and branding services. Carter has been the CEO of BioGlobe since it opened in 2008. And Marinaro. Marinaro is one of the most explosive running backs the NCAA has ever seen. Marinaro, a 3-time first-team All-East selection, was second in 1971 Heisman Trophy voting behind Pat Sullivan. Marinaro was drafted in the second round, 50th overall, in 1972 by the Vikings. His pro career lasted just 6 seasons, though, with Marinaro totaling 1,319 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Marinaro found another way to stay famous in his post-football endeavors, though. He had small roles in popular films like 1978's Fingers, starring Harvey Keitel, and 1991's Queen's Logic with John Malkovich and Kevin Bacon. Marinaro also starred in NBC's 80s hit series Hill Street Blues, but maybe best known for his role as football head coach Marty Daniels in Blue Mountain State.
I gave you everything. I gave you the keys to the Ferrari. And what did I get in return? An 0-1 record!
Thomas Jones. One of the more underrated running backs of his era, Jones is a proud member of the 10K rushing club. Believe it or not, he's higher on the leaderboard than the likes of Marshawn Lynch, Eddie George, Matt Forte, and Earl Campbell. The Arizona Cardinals selected Jones 7th overall in the 2000 NFL Draft, but it would take 3 teams in 5 years until he finally hit a ceiling. After disappointing stints with the Cardinals and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jones joined the Chicago Bears in 2004 and finally became a household name. That year, he rushed for 948 yards and 7 touchdowns. TJ would hit 1,000 yards for the first time in 2005, the first of 5 straight 1K seasons. He would hit that mark thrice with the New York Jets as well, helping them to a surprise AFC Championship game appearance in 2009. Jones retired after a forgettable 2011 season with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jones has remained very much in the spotlight since retiring over a decade ago. He adopted the stage name Thomas Q. Jones and has formed a successful acting career, including roles in Netflix's Luke Cage, Being Mary Jane, and Shameless television series. Tiki Barber. The great Barry Sanders is always the first one to come to mind when you think of great running backs who retired way too early. But don't forget about Tiki Barber, who walked away in 2007 after rushing for 1,662 yards and 5 touchdowns in his swan song season. In a case of bad timing for Barber, the Giants went on to win Super Bowl 42 after his retirement. The New York Giants legend and 3-time Pro Bowler surely has no regrets, considering how much he flourished in his post-football life. Barber briefly worked as an analyst on NBC's Football Night in America program, co-hosted the Fox and Friends program, and worked the 2008 Summer Olympics broadcast on MSNBC. Barber later hosted Tiki and Tierney on WFAN for 1 year. He now co-hosts a WFAN radio program with Evan Roberts. Barber is also busy running a successful business that he kickstarted nearly a decade ago. And in 2018, he co-founded the Grove Group Management, a cannabis investment firm. Eddie George. In the late 90s and early 2000s, there weren't many more exciting NFL duos than Eddie George and Steve McNair. George perfectly complemented the dual-threat QB and MVP winner in the Tennessee Titans backfield, leading the franchise to its first Super Bowl appearance in the 1999 season and a trip to the 2002 AFC Championship game. George exceeded 1,000 rushing yards in 7 of his 9 NFL seasons, winning 1996 Offensive Rookie of the Year honors before being named to 4 Pro Bowls. The 1995 Heisman Trophy winner spent his last season with the Dallas Cowboys in 2004 before retiring. George has mostly stayed out of the spotlight for over a decade in his post-playing days, before suddenly resurfacing in 2021. That year, he signed a 5-year contract to take over as head coach of the Tennessee State Tigers football team. George spent 4 seasons at Tennessee State, compiling a 24-22 record. After 4 years there, George made the jump to the FBS in 2025 by accepting the Bowling Green Falcons head coaching gig. But which other former NFL running backs found better career paths after football? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.